Okay, so this is the Medford TFK Tactical Folding Karambit, as I said. And this knife has been discontinued. I'm pretty sure Medford's not making it anymore. I got this knife about, I'd say about 3 months ago from one of Medford's dealers. Some of the dealers do still have the ability to get them because they place their order. You know, I think Medford had about a year or more wait list. Even the dealers had to go through that wait list. So those dealers that ordered one of these back a year or more ago, you know, they were a production knife at that time, standard knife that they could order. So Medford fills those orders even after he discontinues a knife. He just doesn't accept new orders for them. So he's making a new folding karambit. You should go to the Medford YouTube channel and check those out. It's an interesting looking, pretty cool looking new version of this. This is the original. This is the TFK. And so we'll talk a little bit about the design. So on this side you have G10 on the presentation side. This particular one is black G10. And then on the back side is titanium. And this one is blue anodized titanium. And then this particular version has a PVD coated, a black PVD coated blade. And it is in D2 steel. If you're wondering what's going on the back here, this is green paracord that I wrapped on the back of the knife here. And the purpose for that is that it makes it feel a little bit better when you're holding the knife as you would a standard, you know, as you'd hold a standard karambit like this. It just makes it feel a little bit better here. But normally what you have is this G10 wraps all the way around this circle here, and then on this side the titanium wraps all the way around the circle, and then you've got a steel, D2 steel, again PVD backspacer here, and this backspacer goes all the way around the entire circle, and you can see inside there that it even goes completely, and it's a complete circle back here, and then it runs along the back side. So it is a frame lock. Fairly early, quite early lock up there. So you just, you know, slide it over like a standard frame lock. This kind of looks like a flipper tab right here, but it's not. When you close the knife, that tab does not protrude up above. Really the purpose for this tab right here is so that your hand doesn't slide onto the blade. So when you're holding it like this, you've got that finger guard right there. So if you were actually using this as a fighting knife, you wouldn't have to worry that if you hit it into something on here, that your hand would slide forward and cut yourself. So it's a really nice design. It gives you a perfect half circle right there to fit your finger into when you're holding the knife like this. So a karambit is a fighting knife, and it is used for self-defense. So it's a great self-defense knife, and this one is it locks up really solid, and it's just a cool design, a cool knife, and a great knife for personal defense carry. I had a leather sheath made for it. This is made by a gentleman named Rob Bentley. If you go to Facebook, you can look him up under Bentley Bentley Shealths, and I'll put a link to his Facebook profile in the description for this video. But he makes custom sheaths. So what I did is I shipped him this knife after I purchased it, and had him make me a sheath to my own specifications. And so what I had told him was I wanted it to be molded. So you can see there it's actually got the lines of the knife molded right into the leather. This is a black leather, and then I asked him to go with some contrast stitching, and then I wanted a belt hoop here that would fit a wide belt, because I wear a self-defense belt, so it's fairly wide. So this belt, the belt will go right through there, and then the knife snaps in there, it's really rigid. It's kind of similar to like a Kydex, so he did a really nice job of molding that in there. And what's nice is that you have the circular. We designed it so that the leather only comes up to right below the hole. So when it's on your belt and you want to grab the knife, you just have to pull, and it comes right out. Another reason I wrapped this in the paracord is because if you're wearing this on your side, what's rubbing up against you here right now is the paracord instead of the titanium, and so it kind of fills that gap and gives you that you know, a softer paracord feel against your body. So for wrapping the paracord, I mean, I really didn't do anything special. All I did was I just wrapped the hope the lighting is okay here. I just wrapped the paracord around, you know, in a circle. And what you do at the end where where your piece stops is you just put it at an angle, and then as you're wrapping it, you capture that, and then you just burn the end with I use a soldering iron to burn the end, but you can also use a match. You just burn the end and you make a little bit of a larger knot there so it can't pull through. And so I just did that on both sides. Hopefully you can see that inside of there, right there. You just burn the end so that it can't pull through, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So wanted to compare it to a couple of other Medfords that I own that I've got here on the table. I've done reviews of these other two Medford knives on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in learning more about these, just go to my YouTube channel and take a look, or do a search in my YouTube channel for Medford. This is the 187F flipper version. I just reviewed this one earlier today, so you can see size-wise the comparison between the 187 and the TFK. They're very similar in size. The TFK is a longer because of the finger choil here, but other than that, the blade length is, you know, the overall body size is about the same. Obviously, the blade is a lot smaller on the TFK. The cutting edge is a lot smaller, but you can kind of get a sense there of the size. Really, you're looking more for the size of the TFK when it's folded. So there you go. It's a fairly thick blade. It's 0.187. The handles are thinner on the TFK than they are on the 187. The 187 has 0.187 thick blade and handles. This has a 0.187 blade, but the scales are about half the thickness of the blade. So you get a thinner profile on this knife than you do on this big beefy one. And then my other Medford is the Big Beast. I did a review of this knife. I compared this against the Marauder. I had a full-size Marauder. I've since sold the Marauder, so I don't own that one anymore, but I still kept this one. This is the full-size Praetorian Tie, TI, not the T. He makes actually makes quite a few versions now of this one. He makes the T, which is the thinner version with titanium, the G, which is a thinner version with the G10 side, and then he makes a micro Praetorian, and he makes a Genesis, which is a medium size. So this is the full size. This is the big boy, the Tie version. And as I said, there is a video on my YouTube channel of this, comparing this, reviewing this, and comparing it against the Marauder. So if you're interested more in my review of the full Tie, take a look at that video. But I just wanted to kind of show you comparing it against the TFK. So you can see it's actually a little bit longer than the Praetorian Tie. But of course, again, thickness-wise, there's no comparison. I mean, the Praetorian Tie is just a beast. It's really thick blade, really thick handles, so it just towers over this little TFK. But as you can see, the TFK is a long knife. I mean, it is longer, you know, end to end. It is, well, I guess if you take the glass breaker into account, they're pretty close. Yeah, if you take the glass breaker into account, I can almost cover the TFK with the Praetorian, but it is a long knife, so it's something to keep in mind. It's probably not, I think one of the reasons that Greg didn't put a pocket clip on the TFK is just given how long it is. that it would be a little bit unwieldy in your pocket. I mean, you could put a pocket clip right here going in this direction, and then when you put it in your pocket, you would just have the half circle sticking up. But these don't come with pocket clips. The new Karambit that he's making does come with a pocket clip, so check that out. This, as I said, this one's discontinued. The new one that he's making is an interesting design, different than this, and it does include a pocket clip, so keep that in mind. And that's one of the reasons why I had the leather sheath made. And one of the things that I like about this is from the outward facing view, you know, if someone looking at your belt, everything is dark black, you know, with the offsetting of the green paracord, but it's all dark colored. Whereas on the back side, you know, I've got my particular samples got the blue on the titanium side, but when you're wearing it, all you see is the black and the black blade. So what's nice about the black blade for an EDC self-protection knife is that the blade is not, you know, if you had a silver blade, it would be all shiny. And so with this one, you know, when you're in the sheath, you don't see the blade at all, but even if you took it out, the blade, because it's black, it doesn't jump out at you. So everything is just a dark color, which I liked. I was attracted to the fact that this particular knife, I think, does really well with a black PVD blade. So there you go. It's not a, you know, it is writing on washers, phosphor bronze washers, so it's never going to be a flipper or anything like that. It does have a very stiff, this particular one has a very stiff lock bar. There's no lock stick, but it does take a good amount of pressure to push that lock bar over, so it's got a really solid engagement. It definitely is putting a lot of pressure on there, so it's the lockup on this thing is just crazy strong. And so because of that, it does, you know, if you push this thing over 20 times, you're going to get a sore thumb. You can see the little notch in my thumb there. So not a knife that you're going to probably want to be sitting on your couch opening and closing all night long. It's going to get to you. But what I usually do is when I close it is you know, if you're holding the knife like this, I use my finger on the inside here, and I pull this over and then just push the blade shut. Move your fingers out of the way. So you can do it all one-handed. Open it with your thumb and then push it over with this finger here. Push the blade down. And you're not going to close it on your hand if you're careful, because it's going to catch you. This little tab right here is going to catch my finger. As you'll see what's happening right there. It's stopping on my finger. My finger was in the lock, and this is also helping to not cut myself because it's hitting my finger as I go to close it here. And so I just stop right there because I've broken the lock now to where I can close it the rest of the way, and then I can just push it shut. So you can do all of this one-handed, and like I said, I find the best way to do that is to push it shut. I mean, to open it with my index finger rather than my thumb, because if you're doing it with your thumb, you'd have to turn it around like this, push it over. Again, you see that the tab is hitting my thumb right there, so it's not going to close on my finger, and then I move my finger out of the way and I can close it. So you can, you know, open and close it the traditional way if you want, but I like to do it, I like to open it like this and then close it with my finger, with my index finger, and then pull the blade shut from there, move my fingers out of the way. So there you go. A review of a knife that is going to be a collector's item, I think, because they're not being made anymore. I don't think they were, you know, a huge seller, and I think that's one of the reasons why Greg discontinued it. I know there were some people that wanted a version with a pocket clip, which is what he's making now, and so I think this one's going to get hard to come by. So if you're interested in this knife and you find a dealer who's got some in stock, I would snag it, or if you see one come up on the aftermarket, grab it before they disappear, because it's a really cool knife. It works really well in a sheath on your belt, and it's a great self-defense knife. So that's my review of the Medford TFK, or Tactical Folding Karambit. This is Richard with Rich Made Knives, and thanks for watching my video.